Hi, it's Lachlan from Homhero, and today we're going to be going through how you can get the most out of Homehero's new unified inbox. So today's focus will be a little bit more from an operational standpoint and how you can now utilize the best features within unified inbox. To get the most out of the new inbox, we need to look at it from a property manager's perspective. So in the morning, you'll come into the office and at 9 o'clock, you'll be going to the left-hand side menu, going into unified inbox, and third in the list, we're going to be clicking on inbox. Now, the inbox is a big collection of all the correspondence you have inside Homehero, whether that originates from an OTA, from an owner, from a cleaner, or even from a reservation. Everything will come into here. Now, in terms of best practice, we recommend that you archive any emails as soon as you've actioned them. Now, if we were to use this example here, once we've acknowledged this SMS and we're happy to dismiss it, if we hover over the right-hand side of our message, we'll see that this panel will appear. The right icon will give us the ability to archive that. Now, by clicking this, we'll get a confirmation of whether we do want to archive this or not. Once we click yes, it'll actually move this message down to our archived folder. Now, if you're talking in sense of an SMS in this case, where the guest may reply again, or even an OTA message where they do reply, if they do reply to an archived message, Homehero will bring it back to the inbox so that it can be reactioned. So we're not necessarily pushing it to the side, we're more just moving it to another inbox so it's out of view, and that allows us to now focus on the unread messages. Now, unread messages will show with this white background and a little red dot on the email itself. Now, in the event that we do accidentally click on an email and we remove the unread icon like so, we actually have the ability of remarking that email as unread. So if you weren't supposed to action that, or you have just clicked on the wrong email, on the right-hand side, we can mark this one particular email back to unread status. However, if you've done it a couple of times, we can actually do it in bulk. Now, by clicking on the left-hand side of the thread, it allows us to select which communication we want to bulk action. We do also have a select all button up the top, which will select the next upcoming 50 pieces of correspondence. The right-hand side menu here will allow us to bulk archive those. We can bulk mark them as read, or in our case, we can actually bulk mark as unread. Once we do that, it'll go and make the changes in the system, and we'll revert the unread icon. When working from the inbox, assigning messages to particular staff members is a really great way of staying on top of multiple communication streams. If we were to go back and use the SMS as an example, we have this reply here. We can go ahead and assign that to a staff member. Let's say we go and assign it to Hayden for today. Once the message is assigned, we'll see Hayden's initials on the right-hand side. We can then hover over that and also choose to send him an email notification, or we can remove Hayden as the assigned user. Hayden will then be able to log in the morning, come to his assigned to me folder, and have a set of replies that he can action from within his own inbox. He can then go and archive those messages and put them down in the archive tab. But if the guest was to reply, Homehero will bring that message back to the inbox to be reactioned again. Another really great way to get the most out of Unified Inbox is by utilizing the right-hand side panel. Now, depending on the type of message you're looking at, the right-hand side panel will actually display different information. So this example here, we're looking at a reservation. The right-hand side panel will provide a reservation breakdown. So we'll see the area and its address. We'll also see the booking details and a breakdown of the occupancy of that reservation. We'll see important payment details, and if this was an Airbnb reservation, we would see the expected payout. We can see any booking notes, and a really great feature is the use of the quick availability tool. Now, this will provide a snapshot of the 5 days before and the 5 days after the guest has stayed, and is a really great opportunity for you to be able to upsell any particular guest. So while you're in here communicating with them, we can see that the next 5 days of this property are in fact free. So then we can send a message and offer a reduced discount for an extra night or two if they choose to stay, or we can even offer late checkout as well. Now, if the guest does agree to this and you need to make a change to the booking, you don't have to go and find it in the reservations chart or try and type the booking res number into the search bar above. We can actually just click on the green pencil in the top right, and we can now make a change to the reservation directly from inside a unified inbox. Now, this will be the same for if you're replying to any owner communication or any cleaners communication as well. That right-hand side panel will actually show a breakdown of the contact information or the cleaner's information. If you wanted to make any changes, there is the pencil in the right-hand side for them as well, which will allow you to make extra changes. When we're using the example of email communication, that right-hand side panel will actually show us email tracking statistics. So we'll see things such as when that email was sent or delivered. We can even track little things such as when that email has been opened, or even when they click on any links. This is a great way for your staff to be on top of any guest communication. And if the guest hasn't received an email, the events tracking will actually show if it has failed. So you'll be able to see if that email is bounced, or if it has been sent, maybe you can ask them to check their spam or junk, for example. Now, if we look at an Airbnb reservation, the right-hand side panel slightly changes. This one here is an Airbnb inquiry, so we'll have our Airbnb inquiry ID up the top, and the right-hand side will be the details and dates that the guest is inquiring for. A really great feature is the ability to see the guest profile directly from Homhero. By clicking this link, it'll open an additional tab which will redirect you directly to that guest's Airbnb profile. Down the bottom, we'll also see that expected payout as well. So that way, at a quick glance, you can see all the information about this guest that you need to see before you approve the inquiry. A couple of other ways that you can really get the most out of Unified Inbox is by utilizing the keyword search and the type filter in the top left-hand side here. Now, the keyword search will allow you to look for specific keywords within messages in case you can't remember what the guest name was or what the reservation ID was. Now, let's say you need to reply to a guest, but all you can remember is that the guest requested early check-in and they booked through Vrbo. We can use the keyword search to type in early check-in, and Homehero will go and condense and filter our unified inbox to anything that meets that keyword. Now, by using the type filter on the right-hand side, I can go ahead and click VRBO, and Homehero will then filter our messages to anything that meets that keyword and that's booked through VRBO. If I click on this, we'll then see our VRBO channel messaging. This is a really great way of staying on top of communication without having to keep specific tabs on who said what and when. The final feature that I would recommend is the use of portfolios. So in the top right, you'll notice that I have the Gold Coast portfolio on right now. Homehero is now condensing all of my communication to anything that relates to the Gold Coast portfolio. If I was to remove that and go back to all, Homehero then reload the page and show me all the communication. This is really good for those property managers who operate across state or over a large area within the same state. If you're using portfolios based on geolocation, for example, the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast, it's a really great way for team members to stay on top of communication that relates directly to them. And then you don't have any team members from the Gold Coast team replying to any of the messages from your Sunshine Coast team. It just allows for greater clarity when using a unified inbox. If you do have any questions on how to best utilize the unified inbox, please feel free to reach out to Homehero support. Thank you.